Guys, welcome back to Between the Ropes TV. Before we get into the video today, massive thank you for helping us get to 150 subs. But we want to continue. We want to keep growing. So make sure to hit that like button and also subscribe to the channel if you are new here. We're going to be looking at Chisora Parker 2 today. A fight that needs no introduction at all, does it really? The big English clash just before, obviously, Christmas coming in. And it's going to see Derek Chisora take on Joseph Parker. I mean, Chisora, let's start off with Chisora. I mean, the bloke has lost 11 fights, but he just keeps on bringing a crowd in, doesn't he? Myself included, I will be at that fight on Saturday. And one of the heroes, really, of British boxing for me, British heavyweight boxing anyway, because despite his record, as I say, he just keeps on selling out tickets. And the reason for that is the style that he brings, that heavy hitting, hard style. He doesn't mind taking a punch. And of course, that's why he has got some knockouts to his name, but also at the same time as, of course, being knocked out. And his opponent, Joseph Parker, and these two have fought before. And in my opinion, Chisora won this fight. I really thought Chisora did win the first fight. You know, the big knockdown in the first round. And then I just kept feeling that his punching weren't the most effective, but he threw a hell of a lot. And I really think he landed enough to get the win. But it was obviously given to Joseph Parker. Joseph Parker was the winner of the first fight. And straight after, Derek Chisora said to Eddie Hearn, you make sure you get me that rematch. And of course, that is exactly what he's done. And I think we're going to see the similar Saturday. I really do. Of course, Derek Chisora no longer being managed by David Haye. So that's going to be interesting to see how he comes in looking, because I really do feel that David Haye managed to focus Chisora and get him back on track. But without David Haye, it's going to be interesting to see how he comes out and fights. But, you know, it's great to see Chisora back in front of what's apparently going to be a 13,000 crowd at Manchester on Saturday. Fingers crossed that everyone still managed to get in with the new restrictions and obviously the coronavirus spreading. But we won't spread any more negativity, because I'm sure there's enough of that in the media. So what do I see with this fight? Well, I actually see that it's going to be another, as Derek, you know, just like his name, another war. It is going to be an absolute war. I think Chisora is going to come in, and hopefully he's got his fitness, and hopefully he can keep going with those hard punches for the 12 rounds if needed. But I do think he will come in trying to look for the knockout. He'll want to entertain the crowd. He'll want nothing less than to do that. And as for Joseph Parker, I think he'll play it smart. I think he'll go a bit more technical, and he'll do the exact same thing as last time. Now, I know he has talked a big game about trying to get a knockout. And look, this is going to be his 30th fight. It's going to be his 31st fight, isn't it? Of course, I didn't count the 2 losses, of course, that he had to the hands of Dillian Whyte and Anthony Joshua. But he's going to be looking for his 30th win. 21 of his previous 29 wins, of course, have come from KO. Now, I don't really see Joseph Parker as a KO fighter, but you look at that record and it actually speaks otherwise. He said he's going to look to go for the KO to knock out Derek Chisora. Personally, I don't see it. I think this one will actually go the 12 rounds. And I think if Derek Chisora is looking to win this, he's going to probably need 1, possibly 2 knockdowns and make sure he doesn't get knocked down himself. So who am I going to predict? I really want Chisora to win this. So maybe as a Chisora fan, I am going to favour him a little. But I'm just going to say, come on, Derek Chisora, and make sure he brings that win. And let's see what happens, you know, for the winner. It's going to be an interesting one with no possibility really at the moment of any world title fights. It'll be interesting to see who the winner of this one, what path they go down. A couple of names come to mind. One of those would be Joe Joyce, who, of course, is probably looking to get it back in the ring himself. And that would be a really good contest for both of these fighters. Probably the winner that you imagine would get the fight. And of course, this is a massive card. We've got obviously the IBO World Super Middleweight title on the line. Carlos Gongora comes up against Lerone Richards. I'll get it out in a minute. And of course, Gongora as the champion, he's been absolutely electric, hasn't he, in that middleweight division, winning 20 fights, 0 losses to his name, and 15 of those coming by the way of knockout. Lerone Richards, he's also got an impressive 100% record, 15 wins, 3 of those coming by knockout. I think this is going to be a really good fight. I really do. But with the power of, the power that Gongora has at this weight level, I think it's going to be a step too high at this moment for Richards. I really do. 15 fights so far. So he is pretty well into his career, but I feel that maybe, for me, I fancy Gongora to get the win. And I am going to actually say he will get the win by way of knockout, which is going to be, but I think this is going to be a really good fight to watch. And I'm really looking forward to this. And of course, Chisora Parker is not the only heavyweight on the cards. We've got Alan Babic back in action against David Spillmont. Alan Babic, I know he's been getting a lot of plaudits about him at the moment, and you can see why. Okay, 9 wins, 9 of those coming by a way of knockout. But I personally, having watched him, haven't been that impressed by him. Look, he's got, he obviously has a 100% record at the moment and by way of knockout too. But I really don't see him mixing with the best of them. I've got to be honest. I think some people are talking about him potentially ending up as a future heavyweight champion. I'm yet to see that myself, but look, I'll put my hands up. I could be completely wrong. Who knows? Maybe if he picks up a win and maybe a couple more in 2022, he could be looking to face one of the fighters on the main event, a Chisora or a Parker. But David Spillmont, his opponent, I don't think Babic is going to have any trouble with his opponent. He's had a pretty mixed bag so far. 11 wins, 7 losses to his name as well as 1 draw. So not much more than a 50% record. Although 7 of his 11 wins have come by the way of knockout. So maybe it will be a bit more of a test for Babic. But personally, I think his 100% record will remain. And I also think that he will get the KO as well and keep that at a 100% record. And of course, we've got Jack Cullen back in action for the vacant super middleweight title. He's taking on Kevin Lili Sejo. I think I have pronounced that right. And look, this is going to be an interesting fight. It really is. Jack Cullen, obviously the English fighter, the British fighter, coming into this. He's had 20 wins to his name, 2 losses and 1 draw, 9 KOs from those 20 fights against Sejo, who's actually had an undefeated record, 16 wins to his name, 14 of those coming by the way of knockout. So this is going to be a really good fight. I've got to be honest, of course, I'm going to be cheering on Jack Cullen, but it's going to be an interesting one to see how this fight goes. I'm sure with the crowd behind him in Manchester, maybe he will pull off a victory. But of course, to do that, he is going to have to obviously disrupt an unbeaten record. So please let me know in the comments how you see that one going as well. Moving on to another fight. Got to give this one a shout out. Sandy Ryan, who she finds herself back in action. She's had 2 fights so far, and will be looking to continue that I suppose her pro career, I should say. Currently with 2 wins, 1 of those coming by knockout, and she is fighting a fighter that she's got more losses than she has wins to her name. But this is definitely a step up for Sandy Ryan. She's facing Maria Capriello, and this fighter, she has 7 wins to her name, 13 losses. But she's obviously a much more experienced fighter at this level than Sandy Ryan, so she might cause her a few more problems. But I am backing Sandy Ryan to pick up the win. And of course, just to finish off, there is of course a few more really good fights on this card, and it is going to be a good one. Zelfa Barrick fighting Bruno Tarimo for the IBF Super Featherweight World Title Eliminator. And obviously the eliminator that is currently ongoing. Zelfa Barrett with 26 wins to his name, 16 coming by the way of knockout and 1 loss. Bruno Tarimo, 26 wins, 5 of those coming by KOs, 2 losses and 2 draws to his name. So this is going to be a really good fight. And, you know, at super featherweight level, it's an interesting one. I think of like Zelfa Barrett has a really good knockout ratio at that level. And I'm actually going to say, and I'm going to predict that he will do the exact same on Saturday. There is, of course, other fights on the card, guys, but I won't go into those in full detail. This is a really stacked card. It is looking like a really good card. And, of course, Derek Chisora, Parker being the main event. But there is a whole card of really good fights that I am looking forward to. Rihanna Dixon being another fighter in action. Jordan Thompson as well. So, guys, we are going to be doing a reaction to this and also being at the fight. Depending how things go, you might see the first ever Between the Ropes TV vlog. We are also going to be in Sheffield on Friday night for a boxing event as well. So look out for videos around that as well. And make sure to check out our video for Tommy Frank, who is actually in action on that event, headlining the main event on Friday. So, guys, make sure to subscribe to Between the Ropes TV. Hit that like button as well. And we shall see you on one of the many videos that we're going to have coming within the next week. Goodbye and thank you.